It's a law of attraction. You might have heard about that. A law of attraction. You attract what you think. I am a person who you meet and you feel that, this is a very happy person. So the question is, have you always been this happy? Because your happiness is shining out, and I can't help but notice it and really want to get to that place myself. Okay, that's a good question. No, I wasn't always happy. I was like a regular person. In fact, when I was younger, I was very good at sports, and I had a place on the Swedish national team, and when I was 18 in their high jump team. So I was a little even snobby sometimes, thinking that I knew everything and everyone and I was good, and no, I wasn't very happy. I wasn't focused on being happy, but I think I knew it. I knew I could get there. That's really where I wanted to be, but I wasn't yet. And it's only in the last number of years that I have really focused on kind of taking away all my bad thoughts, all the thoughts that are not in the happy, joyful, generous, gratitude-filled space. I will try to stop them. Well, in the beginning, there was a very big overload of those thoughts. In the beginning of this process, it was a lot of them. But I started to write down every time I didn't feel good about something. Someone said something, or something happened, or I was thinking about something that made me angry, anxious, fearful, annoyed, worried. I would write down what it was, and eventually this list became quite long. But it is first just kind of noticing yourself. A lot of these things, we think they just happen to you. All these thoughts just happen, but they don't. I used to be very hardworking, absolutely sure that nothing happens unless you work super hard and everything has to be perfect, a complete perfectionist. And I was breaking myself. I couldn't really keep up with my own expectation. And I also realized it didn't make me happy and it didn't make me vibrant. I was always annoyed with myself, annoyed with others for not keeping up that high standard that I had put on myself. I would often rewrite somebody else's work, say, no, it's not good enough, I will do it for you. Which meant I just added more work to my own work, which I didn't at all have to do. It was nobody else's fault than my own. And as I was starting to learn more and more about different health things, a friend of mine was very sick, and I tried to understand, what can you do if you have fibromyalgia or any of these extreme exhaustion diseases? What can you do to feel better? So I started simply doing a lot of research to help her. And in doing so, I learned a lot of things. And that really started to make sense. It's a law of attraction. You might have heard about that. A law of attraction. You attract what you think. And in many religions and wisdom literature, they talk about it as well. It is not something new, but this, what you think and especially what you feel is what you attract. Now, if you constantly feel you're never good enough, you never have time to do everything has to be perfect, and you're always nervous, you're not on that level yet, you're not on that level yet. Well, you attract more work, more things to be perfect about. And I started to change. I have to change the way I think. I cannot continue like this because it's going to ruin my health. It had already started to ruin my health. So that's when I started to really, first I started to just focus on what I want to achieve, to have good relationship with my husband, a good relationship and deep relationship with my children, to have good friendships and care and have time for them, to be a good colleague that involves herself with not just the work but the people around me and who they are, that I wanted to contribute with my work to a wider world. So I started setting those kind of goals, and that they will of course bring abundance in money as well, income, so that we can live in a comfortable way. So I started to focus on that. And as I started to focus on those things, I started also to see all the things that did not fit in that framework. All the things that I was worried about or irritated about, and it just caused me to work a little more, add a little more, and slowly let go of the files from my childhood that had been written in my brain and were now the program that was running me. I was not a free person. I thought I always make my own decisions, but I was not that free person. I was somebody who was completely run by old stories that happened when I was 3 to 6 years old. I don't even know what happened because I don't have memories from those things. But the way they had implanted in me held me back, and I needed to let go. And I think that now I am a person who you meet and you feel that, this is a very happy person. Some even say, I wish I knew what her secret is. So how did I see that this hardworking and perfectionism wasn't good for me? It seems on the outside that is a perfect thing to do. Well, it put a lot of pressure on me. And I also became a little square. How do I say? Everything has to be a certain way. Otherwise, I am not satisfied. And where does the satisfaction or the happiness come from? The happiness comes from the outside. When I submit a good paper, or when I have a wonderful meeting at work, or when... But happiness is coming from the inside. See, that I didn't quite realize that at the time. The happiness has to come from the inside. It has to flow in. And in order for it to flow in, you have to give your soul, your spiritual self, some people call it your awareness, the part of you that is not just connected to the here and now, but it aspires to other things. The part of you that connects with other people. Because all of us have a soul. All of us have this other than human, other than body related quality. So it has to come from the soul having the room to lead me. Because the soul is really straight from the Creator. It's not made of atoms. When we die, it is going to disappear, and you will see an enormous difference in the body, but not in the weight. The body is now not animated at all. It's just a piece of flesh. And just minutes ago, it has a life force inside, and it is now gone. And it has left no traces, because the weight has not gone down in this body is now dead. So that part, the soul, that spiritual part of us, that is really what we need to give room to shine. And the more we stay in the happy qualities, the more we stay in that gratitude and joy and all these things, see, the Creator is never jealous, and the Creator is not worried and is not angry, because it is human emotions. It is human emotions. It is our limitations. When we feel like somebody has slighted us, we are important. Those belong to, you can call it the natural soul. Those belong to the lowest spiritual part of us, that is more around the body, more considering the body, and is also easily tricking us to go in the not so good direction, like into depression, or has extreme desires for things that might not be healthy for us. So we want the godly part, the soul part of us, to lead the show, and so that the natural soul and the body kind of comes along as if it's a horse and carriage with the driver, and the driver is the soul, and the horse is that natural soul who is energetic and wants to go, but also wants to flee and is afraid and has opinions. And the driver has to just stay focused, and you have to let the driver be the driver over the horse. And then all of them, the driver, the horse, and the carriage, would all arrive safely along this road, which is the road of life. So the driver also has a contact with that wider world called the Creator, and knows in every moment what is a good direction to go in, if you are open to listen to it. It is there all the time. It is there all the time for everyone, but it doesn't scream for attention. You have to let it have attention. You have to let it, and so in order to let it lead, you need to be in that joyful, happy place, because the natural soul has no say in that space.